Hello Panthers, for this video I just wanted to show the basics of OneNote, and this is going to be a really quick overview of the kind of different ways you'll need to work around if you're using this for your classroom or if you're using it strictly for that staff notebook, the kind of things that you need to be aware of in the different sections. So I use OneNote with all of my classes, and so what you see here is just one of my classes from last year pulled up, but there's actually a whole lot of stuff that's open. The first one you'll see right here is a tab. It just says welcome. This is a section at the very top that's just like your own personal notebook. If you wanted to have a couple things for you, you could do that. I don't really ever use this section, but you could. The things below it are a lot more useful, like the collaboration space. This is if you ever have something that you want students to be able to work on together. Say that you have a document you want them to go over, or some kind of group project that would need students to both be able, or multiple students to be able to work, you can put things in the collaboration space. Or also for staff, something you want staff to come in and check off on and sign in on, they can do that. It's important to know though, anything in the collaboration space, everyone who is in that notebook can edit. The content library is where, for example, your staff notebook, there'll be files put in that the only people who are can edit these files, add new ones, or do any kind of alterations are the people who are admins of that notebook. Okay, so you'll find these files. This is stuff from my classes. That these are all my copies. You're not going to see student work on them or anything like that. You notice that this was a puzzle activity we did at one point. So you don't try and understand what that is. It was a scavenger hunt when I taught students technology. It was pretty fun actually. But the things in here again cannot be changed by students, which is really useful to have in case, because you have to know if you've ever used any kind of cloud software. Every once in a while someone accidentally opens up a file and edits it thinking that they have their own, but it's really the master. It gets all complicated. It's good to have these backups. And also, if you're going to have class notebooks from the content library, this is where you would send out these assignments to students' notebooks. So this Would You Survive Jamestown activity, another game activity we did early in the school year last year. I click this and then I click class notebook. Then I distribute page. I can distribute it to single students, or I can distribute it to multiple classes, or all students. And anyways, this copy then gets sent to their notebooks. Then they have a copy that they can edit, and I can go in and take a look at their work on. So that's the content library. In my opinion, probably one of the most useful sections in OneNote, and probably where you'll spend a lot of time, particularly in your staff notebook. And then, again, you won't see this if you're just using it for like staff collaboration. But then you'll see I have just a bunch of names. These are all real students. So, I'm not going to go in to click their work. I did have one, I kind of redacted the student's name and I changed it to random student just so I could kind of give you a closer look at kind of how some of this stuff works. But you'll see that the kind of stuff I have them do in their OneNote notebooks is pretty extensive. I have them do a lot of their work in OneNote. You'll notice I even normally pull out stuff directly from the textbooks because I kind of like to limit the number of apps my students have to use, because like for our online history textbook is a whole other thing that the students need to use. So I normally go out there and use the textbook and then pulling things and then bringing them in here into OneNote. So it's still using the curriculum, but the students don't have to go to multiple different places to do their work. And I also use it as a place for students to do logs, for example. Let's see if I can find there. You can see it's been a while since I've been in here. Handouts for me. We've got grade charts. There we go. I was thinking it was called logs and I was looking for the wrong thing. But I have students will periodically I'll do grade checks. Well, they'll go through do checks, and that's kind of a good opportunity also to teach students some tech skills. They have to use Excel to do these, and it's fun. But really, these are notebooks that the only people who can edit a student's notebook are them, and also myself, which is why you saw for my assignments I have a little box in the top right corner where I kind of give feedback and notes and scores for students, and for them if they ever do redos to tell me what they've changed. But this is not an area for collaboration because other students will not be able to see their notebooks. So I hope that gave you a quick rundown just of the kind of the vocabulary you'll see here. If you'll ever see, go to the content library, go to the collaboration space or an individual notebook. I will also caution one thing, especially if you are going to be using this for classroom notebooks and other purposes, that it is very easy to accidentally be thinking you're doing something in one notebook, but you're actually doing it in another. So you always want to double check up here at the top. It says what notebook you're currently on. So if you're just looking at my notebooks from last year, you'll notice all these notebooks look very similar because it's the only difference is the fact that the period number is changing right here. So always double check and make sure you're in the right notebook. All right, thank you very much.